Sometimes a tactical retreat is perfectly acceptable, in the spirit of that legendary pirate captain, Pathetic Dave. Thankfully, for every tense standoff, there's a moment of celebration or shared wonder. But for now, stow your hard-earned loot and enjoy the voyage. On Devil's Ridge beneath the sands, the gold lies hidden from thieving hands. Oh, well, that's typical. Oh look! Here we are at Devil's Ridge. Nice transition, by the way. And so you'll shift from the heart of the sea to the island shore, where you'll explore jungles and coves, cliff tops and caverns. Every region has its very own landmarks, and over time you'll uncover hidden shortcuts, abandoned stashes, and vistas that will steal your grog-soaked breath away. And yes, sometimes you'll encounter people who, for whatever reason, would like to blow you into little pieces. That's pirating for you. Keep that pistol primed, because you'll also face the roaming remains of those raiders who came before you, caught short in pursuit of their own legends. An afterlife of fighting and troublemaking until all your bits fall off. It's what they would have wanted. Now, make sure your crewmates all have a part to play. Yep, that works. And look, he brought the riddle map. Seek the cursed boar shrine where there is no sky. It lies in wait for a light held high. Right, well that's got to be around here somewhere. But if you've got a bad feeling, you can always leave someone on board to brace the ship for a speedy getaway. Decisions. Ah, looks like they've sniffed out that place where there is no sky. Time to pool your resources as you plunge into the unknown. It would be easy to come a cropper in these claustrophobic caves. You don't want to wander off track. Unless, of course, you're streaming, and you'll have loads of people in the chat telling you what to do anyway. Don't mind that, it's probably nothing. Just kids. Of course, the premier plunder isn't just lying around to be claimed by any old drunk.
What's your plan?
Stay the hell away from me, okay?
I'm sure you have good reasons to bust out of here, but I need to get out of here too.
Yeah? Not my problem.
Well, you can trace lines in your face.
black. We need a light.
Screw it. I'll go first.
Yuri, I'm here.
What do you see?
Find the rest. Boss wants them dead.
Looks like the demons are moving in on Fisk's territory.
You got this?
I got this.
Fisk's men have fled through the building. Eliminate them.
Should've worn a helmet.
You got what you came for. You don't need to kill us, too.
Fisk's territory is ours now.
Not today.
Spider-Man! Tell the boss is here!
Motor Nation's #1 sponsor and event organizer. So this is where your story begins. Your goal? To become the greatest champion of all motorsports. We're starting off with a nighttime street race challenge. Street racing is at the core of the crew DNA, and one of the many disciplines of the Crew 2. But this time we're shifting from underground street racing to bring you a more accessible, festive and competitive take on the genre. Speaking of which, this race is about to get a little spiced up. How would you like to take this party to the rooftops? That was just a small example of the way we've redesigned the US cities to offer you more freedom for spontaneous challenges. In the Crew 2, your whole environment has been shaped and tweaked so that you can enjoy the very best experience, whatever the vehicle or the discipline. But before I tell you any more, I think Live Sportscast has something to tell you.
And now, life goes to the extreme!
Now the second part of the competition is a powerboat race. You're piloting a DCB M31, one of the fastest boats ever created. These little beasts are traditionally used to race offshore and in straight lines. But we've decided it would be more fun to have them speed up along the Hudson River, because, hey, why not? Right now, we're having it pretty easy, but you'll occasionally have to deal with 10-foot waves on offshore races, not to mention the waves created by you and your competitors. We've also been messing around with the good old Hudson River, adding ramps and buoys for you to handle. And as you can see, your next competitors are waiting for you to take off. Everything is completely seamless, so anything can happen in Motor Nation at any time. But for now, let's stay focused all the way up to the finish line.
take it up a notch for the grand finale.
We are literally taking the challenge to new heights in this third and last part of our New York challenge. While some of our competitors are still having fun down there on the water, let's enjoy some new perspectives over Central Park. Now that you can fly across America, the Crew 2 is built to allow you to see all the way up to the horizon. This is one of the many technical feats our team had to achieve in order to offer a game experience that would perfectly fit the new vehicle types. This raises the game's exciting potential for exploration even more. Here, you're embracing the city skyline. But now, imagine flying over the Rockies, buzzing the ground in the Grand Canyon, piercing the clouds, or just admiring the city nightlights from your cockpit. But I digress. We're still trying to win a race here.
From the heart of New York City, this was the live Extreme Series Episode 1. Thank you for watching, and remember to follow us on all social media.
Now let's take a look at our colossal open world of more than 2,000 square miles. It revolves around 4 motorsports families: street racing, pro racing, off-road, and freestyle. Each of them has its own culture, style, set of disciplines, and a place to meet. But the Crew 2 is also about freedom and exploration. Time to discover what this huge open world has to offer. Back in New York City, and we've joined some friends for a free flight session in co-op. Let me show you what this Zivco Edge 540 V3 has under the hood. This light plane is the star of many air races and aerobatic shows around the world, and right here in Motor Nation. That's another one of the Crew 2 innovations. Not only does it offer an incredible variety of disciplines, but each gameplay has its specificities and unique appeal. By the way, you can instantly switch between ground, water, and air vehicles with our brand new Fast Fave feature. This allows you to fully enjoy all the new perspectives the Crew 2 has to offer using only one button. From the top of buildings to the bustling city streets below or the busy waterways, the whole of the USA is ready for you to explore. Now you might have noticed I keep scoring points here. That's what we call dynamic freestyle. Every stunt and feat achieved anywhere in the open world will contribute to your overall progression in the game. Doing aerobatics tricks, car and bike stunts, or just speeding up on your boat, literally anything you can show off will get you closer to becoming a renowned champion of Motor Nation. Now it's time to race in the great outdoors. This is Rally Raid, an off-road discipline focus. The objective here is simple: get from point A to point B as quickly as you can by making your way through muddy tracks, rocks, and vegetation. And of course, the organizers at Live have added their 2 cents to the challenge by throwing in a few surprises. The buggy A1 is a perfect choice for that challenge, with its bouncy suspension, unconventional look, and easy handling. After all, Rally Raid is all about enjoying total freedom to choose your path, to test the limits of your environment, and the pure fun to go full speed into the wild. Now I'm excited to share with you how we'll be dominating the waterways in Jet Sprint. This will have you slaloming and jumping into swampy waters in tiny but highly responsive boats. As you might have guessed, this gameplay is a bit more challenging than the ones I've been introducing so far. The contests usually take place in a lush and pretty unpredictable environment, and it requires high-speed mastery as well as some freestyle abilities. This is one of the great things about having the whole USA as our open world. Every terrain is a perfect spot for specific disciplines, with its own ecosystem, road network, facilities, as well as
come under siege by an organized army of massive otherworldly invaders known as the Reveni, who have begun systematically eradicating humanity off the face of the planet. You play as Avil, one of the last of the Sentinels, a legendary group of warriors with the skills and tools necessary in order to take down these massive foes. The gameplay in Extinction emphasizes high-speed traversal around the environment. In addition to the basic jump and double jump, Avil can also run horizontally along walls, run vertically straight up walls, air dash through the sky, come floating back down gently, can bounce off of springy objects in the environment such as building awnings or treetops, and can use his whip like a grappling hook to get around. When he does this, time slows down, giving him time to plan his next move and make split-second decisions. Of course, Avil's ultimate goal is to save as much of humanity as possible. He needs to protect them from the constant onslaught of the ogres and their minions. He does this by engaging them in real-time, skill-based combat. In addition to his series of regular strikes, he can also execute powerful AoEs, launch enemies into the sky, slam them back down to the ground, cancel his attacks into rune strikes for massive damage, and cancel his attacks into dodges in order to evade his opponent's strikes. Of course, the star of the show is Avil's combat with the ogres. Now, with their minions defeated, it's time for Avil to take on their master, one of the enormous Reveni who has been rampaging through the countryside, obliterating everything in our fully destructible environments. The ogres themselves are fully dismemberable, but they wear armor in order to protect themselves. In order to take this beast down, Avil must first destroy that armor. This is done via a powerful charged-up rune strike. Once the armor is destroyed, Avil can then dismember the limb underneath. Dismembering limbs like this builds energy which Avil will need to ultimately be able to strike the finishing blow. And as you can see, this ogre is none too happy about the loss of its leg, and Avil has to dodge its attacks while also trying to remove the remaining armor in order to get to the limbs beneath them. This is an extremely dangerous situation to be in because if any of these blows actually manages to hit Avil, it will be death in a single hit. Having now absorbed enough power and weakened the ogre sufficiently, Avil is now ready to go ahead and strike the finishing blow. Using the traversal options we showed off earlier, Avil is able to climb up the ogre's back, take out its helmet, and deliver the coup de grace. That was a relatively easy fight against a relatively basic opponent, but not all enemies are so simple. Depending on what armor, weapons, and abilities they have, each ogre presents its own unique challenges, and requires different strategies and tactics to take down. Here, we have an example of an ogre decked out in gold armor. This armor does open up some new traversal options for Avil, but as you can see, it's also much harder to remove. Each piece is protected by multiple latches that must be destroyed in order to remove it. 4 of them on each leg piece, and 2 on each arm piece. Having finally destroyed all the latches, Avil is now able to dismember the first of this ogre's legs. Moving on to the arms, however, is now much more difficult, as they are constantly moving, making it hard to target those tiny latches. Avil must dodge the ogre's attacks and their minions' attacks while doing this. It has now taken sufficiently long to take down this ogre that its leg has regenerated, and it stood back up, but it no longer matters. Flush with energy from his last kill, Avil is ready. He climbs up the back of the ogre and is presented with one final challenge, staying up there long enough to take out its remaining armor. First, he removes the helmet, and then the collar. With these 2 obstacles out of the way and its neck exposed, Avil can finally go in for the kill, and so the second ogre falls.
Far Cry 5 is the biggest, most open Far Cry to date, giving you free reign to explore the highways and wilderness of Hope County, Montana, where you'll make life tough for the cultists of the Project at Eden's Gate by blowing up their stuff and uniting the locals as a resistance. How you do this is entirely up to you.
Shit, nice move!
More or less from the get-go, the entirety of Hope County is yours to explore however you like, whether by truck, helicopter, or fast travel wingsuit airdrop. And there's a lot to discover. Poking around its wooded trails might reveal prepper caches protected by puzzles or challenges or wolverines. Or you might find signposts that reveal picturesque cliffs from which you can go wingsuiting. You might even discover a plaque commemorating the impossible deeds of 70s daredevil Clutch Nixon, at which point you'll be able to, say, recreate his literally on fire rally run through sprinkler checkpoints that delay your inevitable explosion. As with any Far Cry game, however, some of the best moments come from the unpredictability of the world itself. When you've got cultists, vehicles, fire, and extremely violent animals all running amok at once, it only takes a second for a mission to go from high-tension stealth to berserk carnage because that incendiary arrow missed a cult VIP and hit a bull instead. Far Cry 5 also expands one of the best parts of earlier games, scouting out enemy outposts, methodically hunting down all of their defenders, and claiming the compounds for your side. Not only are outposts everywhere in Hope County, clearly marked by columns of black smoke, but all across the map you'll find prominent citizens under siege by the cult.
Name's Grace.
Helping them push back and reclaim what's theirs will convince them to join you in battle, or at least give you more intel about the cult's activities. As you reclaim territory from the cult, destroy their property, and generally interfere with their plans, you'll fill a resistance meter for the region you're in.
Supposed to be so enlightened, so much better than us.
The gods of these realms don't take kindly to outsiders, trust me. When they find you, and they will, they'll make things difficult.
Wait here. I will handle this.
Wow, that was something, that fight.
On our journey, we will be attacked by all manner of creature. To be effective in combat, a warrior must not feel for his enemy. Close your heart to their desperation. Close your heart to their suffering. The road ahead is long and unforgiving. No place for a boy. You must be a warrior.
But not everyone is bad. Mother always said to be open to those who can help.
Who you were before doesn't matter. This boy is not your past, he is your son. And he needs his father.
It's the world serpent.
Stay calm, boy!
I am!
What is it saying?
He wants to help us!